Hello, my name is Chandra Essex, and I'm the Social Emotional Behavioral Learning Specialist for Nebraska MTSS. And I work with Region 4, which covers the schools and educational service units that work with ESUs 9, 10, 11, and 17. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the check-in, check-out process in implementation. Check-in, check-out doesn't focus on a student's struggles and behavior. Instead, it centers on a positive behavior goals met and the efforts made by the student to attain those goals. Here you'll see the Nebraska MTSS triangle. Tier 1 is our core. This is what we do for all students in regards to academic, social, emotional, and behavioral learning. Tier 2 is the next level, and that is our targeted supports. You will see that this is for group instruction, and this is where check-in, check-out lies. It's the go-to first layer of support in Tier 2. Then you'll find Tier 3, which is our individualized supports, those intensified supports for students. So today we're going to talk about check-in, check-out. The benefits of a check-in, check-out process is that it's a research-based intervention, that daily organization and behavioral supports for students by adults, that there's high rates of adult attention throughout feedback for students. It decreases students' problem behaviors. Communication between home and school is increased. Decisions are based upon data, and that we have improved structures for our students and our adults in the building, and that it overall applies to the students' settings and their school-wide expectations. When we think about those critical features of check-in, check-out, we want to look at it from the lens of it being a data-based intervention, that it's continuously available with rapid access for both students and adults, that there's minimum efforts for those adults and the maximum effort for students in our buildings. It's consistent with your school-wide expectations, and that continuous progress monitoring is happening to give us that data needed for database decision-making. And it is implemented universally and uniformly by all staff. So there are 4 pieces when we think about the check-in, check-out feedback that are critical to their success. We want to think that the feedback is very specific. It is always positive. It is truly authentic, and it is frequent in nature to the students. These 4 pieces are key when we think about the feedback we give to our students in the process. There are multiple roles in a check-in, check-out program. Today, we're going to touch on those. First being the check-in, check-out process coordinator role. This individual will participate in the Tier 2 meetings. They will manage the check-in, check-out requests for assistance that comes from individual teachers or adults in the building, maybe a caregiver, but through a data-based decision-making process or a referral process. They will orient new students to the check-in, check-out process. They will introduce the check-in, check-out process to parents and to new staff. They will organize and maintain the records, communicate with the facilitators or those mentors, as we will call them moving forward. They will create graphs for the Tier 2 meetings to show student progress, and they will provide updates on a student database system. The check-in, check-out mentor / facilitator, and this can be called differently for each school. Today, for this presentation, we will call and refer to it as the check-in, check-out mentor. Their role is to build the relationship with the student. They check in with the student daily, and they check out with the student daily. They maintain the daily progress report and distribute that to the student. They recognize and reinforce the student's behaviors, help them understand where areas for improvement, and they communicate with the coordinator for the overall well-being of the student. The check-in check-out mentor is also an important key to the process because they see the student first thing in the morning. They can get a gauge on how the student's behaviors will be, maybe based on what has happened the evening before or that morning of, and they can help inform the classroom teachers of potential things to look for to help the student be successful. The key is remembering that a check-in check-out mentor can be any adult in the building. Does not have to be classroom teachers, and we would encourage only to have classroom teachers that volunteer be a mentor, as the classroom teacher has a very important role in the overall check-in check-out process, which we'll talk about next. We're going to show you a brief check-in check-out video to show all steps of the process, and then we're going to break down the process.
Morning, Bryce. I'm going to put the date on your thing. You did a good job yesterday of getting several teachers to sign your sheet. Now I want you to try to get everybody to sign it today. Have a good Thursday. You too. See ya.
How are you today? How was your night? Good? All right. Let's have a good day today, okay? What are we going to concentrate on? Okay. Let's do it. Have a good day. All right. See ya.
You did a really nice job of paying attention and following along and taking your notes, okay? What I still need from you is you need to get the work cut up, and you're working on that, right?
So help me out with respectful.
I think I got a 1
Okay, tell me why you got a 1 there.
because I wasn't listening my best, but I can do better.
You can do better, okay?
Okay, Kaylee had a really great day. Didn't have your ID on right away, saw it on your desk. 2 current events which you're going to work on, but otherwise you had a great day. Keep it up. Lots of 2s.
So you were respectful about that. That is a 2. You were responsible all the time. Did you get all your materials done? Okay, so you earned a 2 today for being responsible and being safe. You did a great job. You came in on time, you had your materials. You've earned 2s on all your sheets today. So keep it up. Keep working hard. Thanks.
Go!
Good.
Good? Oh my gosh, it went really good. Nice job, nice job. Alright. What are you gonna do tonight?
I don't know.
Hang out?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the nicest day of the week today, so
Yeah. I hope
Enjoy it.
it's nice out today.
I think it's supposed to be. I don't know if it is, but
I hope
Tanner, did you go
enjoy. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
So in the video, you saw the role of the check-in check-out coordinator and the check-in check-out mentor facilitator and the classroom teacher. Here are the basic steps of a check-in check-out implementation process. You'll see at the top in the 2 purple squares or rectangles, you'll see how the student is recommended for check-in check-out. And then the teacher, the parent, the student agrees and implementation starts. This is the role of the coordinator. Then you'll go down to the green circles. This is the 4-step process that we will talk a lot about today. The morning check-in or the DPR pickup comes to the check-in check-out mentor. The teacher feedback is the classroom teacher's responsibility, or those teachers that have the students during special times. The afternoon checkout is the role of the check-in check-out mentor, and then the role that the student has in taking the information home to their caregiver to share the day's progress and to return that the next day. The important thing is to remember that the entire check-in check-out process is based on data. And you'll see over to the right, those steps in the process where the data is used for decision making. This is the role of the check-in, check-out coordinator to utilize with the Tier 2 team. So it can help understand where the student is at and what additional supports the student may need. It informs the right hand of what's happening along the way. So the check-in, check-out mentor facilitators, as you might remember in the video, their role is the morning check-in. They meet the student and they welcome them. They're positive, they greet the student, and they review those goals tied to those school-wide expectations. The student will pick up their DPR, the daily progress report, from the mentor, and the adult may ask if the student needs any additional materials and provide those. Maybe a student might need a pencil if needed. The student then turns the previous day's signed form in, if that is a part of your process, to the mentor and the facilitator. The keys to remember is welcoming the student, making the student feel excited to be there and valued in that relationship. Here are some example statements that might happen for a mentor with the student. So those might be, great to see you. How are you today? Yesterday you earned 80% of your points. You did really well being safe and respectful. Here's your DPR for today. Remember to be respectful by and give them an example, or responsible by and give them example. Whatever it needs to be to tie to your school-wide expectations. The thing to remember is to tell them, you're going to have a great day today, and I can't wait to see you this afternoon. This is a great opportunity for the student and the mentor to build that relationship and the student to understand that the mentor believes in what they're going to do for the day. The daily progress report, as we have mentioned, is the physical paper or the electronic option that is used for data tracking. The daily progress report is linked to the 3 to 5 school-wide expectations. It is always teacher and student friendly. It's the same for all students. It's standardized. It's on a 3-point scale, typically, especially if you're using the Swiss system. You will have up to 10 check-in times on a DPR, and that you're going to use the collected data for progress monitoring. One thing to remember for the DPR is that it's important for students to bring it to every single class period. This might include music, art, PE, and those classes that happen outside of the traditional general ed classroom, if they're in elementary. In middle and high school, it's important for the students to take their DPR with them all day long. When we think about the DPR rating, as I said, it can be up to 3 different options of a scale. The important piece is being consistent in how you score it, and this is what our teachers will do in giving feedback. Consistency is important. As you'll see on the screen, this is an example of what it might look like. So for teacher feedback to give a student a 2 means that the student has it. They got it. They met their expectations with positive behavior and no more than 1 reminder was needed during that period. A 1 means, hey, the student was getting there. They needed 2 to 3 reminders and corrections during a period. And a 0 means the student's still trying. Maybe they needed 3 or more reminders for correction during a period. It's important to remember consistency. And this may look a little different depending upon if you're in elementary or middle or high school, but having a consistent rating scale is what is key. Here you'll see a DPR from Ainsworth Community Schools. You'll see the key components, and we'll start at the top and move to the right and go around to the left side. So at the top, you'll see the school-wide expectations that there are 5 or less. You'll see a space for teacher initials. You'll see that 3-point scale. Positive feedback and prompts for the student's space that teachers can give them feedback. An opportunity for the caregiver signature, if that is a part of the process. You'll see then on the left at the top, the rating scale. Again, What does that mean? A 3, a 2, or a 1? Check-ins. There are 10 or less throughout the day. And finally, the points, which are tied to school-wide expectations and maybe the student's goal. When we think about the teacher's role, this is key in the check-in, check-out process. Your opportunity to give feedback comes on the daily progress report. Teachers provide positive or that corrective feedback in real time to the student. The teacher completes the DPR report after every topic or class period. And student completes self-monitoring or a DPR, teacher checks and initials the card if that is a part of the process. This may happen for those older students. For younger elementary students, this may not be a part of the process. Here's the teacher's role when we think about feedback. First, you want to greet the student when they come into your class or to your class period, or to your classroom for the day. You always want to prompt that appropriate behavior. Providing feedback for each specific rating period is key. Maintaining that positive tone throughout the interaction. You'll want to make sure that you reinforce all appropriate behavior and tie that to the school-wide expectation. Just like Johnny, you did a great job being responsible in math because you took care of your own work and you used your pencil and you had your materials ready. Explain that rating and provide instruction on how to improve tomorrow. Example might be, Johnny, we weren't as respectful during math today because we interrupted our peers. One way to improve that for tomorrow would be to not interrupt others and to focus on our work. Make sure you're writing that positive feedback on the DPR. One thing to remember is that this is not a response cost approach. We don't take points away. Consequences for those behavioral infractions, that's a separate system, and that's your discipline system. You want to think about those natural consequences. If a student's not in the classroom, then they don't have an opportunity to earn points for that time period. Remembering that those majors and minors are data sources that can be used to inform feedback from a facilitator or a team decision. But importantly, we need to remember that positive feedback is what needs to happen from the teachers. There might be a difference between how the elementary or the middle and high school, again, give feedback, but the things that are the same is that is appropriate, it's positive, and it is feedback, and that we do not take points away. We want to show you some examples of daily progress reports, some good examples and some non-examples. As you'll see on the screen here for Omar and Alex, an example you will see is that it has positive feedback on it, it has a score, and it has teacher initials, meaning that the teacher had feedback time after each period. What you'll see in the non-example for Alex is the feedback is not positive. It is pay attention. Stop flirting with Sarah. You don't care about your work. These comments are not helpful to a student to understand how they can be improving their behavior. It is a negative process. That's a negative comment that will just continue to negatively enforce their behavior. Additionally, thinking about the information that you put on the DPR will be seen by the parent. So maybe the student hadn't said anything about Sarah to the parent. So we just want to think about that is not important. That is not an important piece to the overall goal of a check-in, check-out process. We always want to be positive and constructive. Here's another example for I'm a freshman. This is a positive example. You'll see that the scores are consistent and that the student is working to meet their overall percentage goal of 80%. They scored a little low But you'll see here that better engagement is an opportunity that they accomplished for today. A non-example you'll see on this page for I'm a freshman is the negative feedback of negative attitude, horrid, refuse to participate, distracting. You'll see the percentage is at 33%. This feedback is not give a student an opportunity to know how to do better for tomorrow or for the next period and how to turn their behaviors around during the day. Now, we believe that practice makes progress. So what I would encourage you to do is to look through these sentence starters that we've given you. And we want you to pause the video and to practice with a colleague who is sitting around you, or maybe find somebody in your other classroom beside you, or find a para, or just a friend. Practice makes progress, and we get better at what we do when we practice. Some of these sentence starters might be great job being responsible during math today by having your materials ready. Tomorrow, I would like to see you be more respectful and give an example. So please pause the video now and practice. Hopefully your practice went well, and we're excited to continue to explain the mentor process, the mentor step 3, which is the end of the day checkout. If you're a mentor, this is a great opportunity to briefly check in with a student and see how their day went. You review the points and their goals. You'll reinforce for the student for their checkout. Recognize how their day went. Begin with verbal recognition, and maybe if needed, give them additional things upon what will motivate the student. Maybe it's a piece of candy. Maybe it's part of your school-wide ticket system. Thinking about what are those small things to help a student be reinforced for checking out with you. And then receive those enforcers if a goal is met. So talk to the student, get to know this student. Maybe they love Coca-Cola and they would love to get a Coke from you if they meet their 80% for a week. That is a example. That's something that I wouldn't start with right off the bat. Small encouragement through your school-wide recognition is the easiest and most effective. Again, remembering that the check-in, check-out process is to build that relationship. Finally, you want to review those expectations for the students to take their DPR home for the caregiver to review if that's a part of your process. Here are again some examples of what that might look like. So maybe you'll say, thanks for bringing your card back this afternoon. How was your day? Or you got 80% of your points today. Way to go. You remembered to be responsible and you completed your work. Here's your DPR for today. Remember to be respectful, responsible, and safe. Have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Remember from the video, being positive and letting them know that you look forward to seeing them tomorrow is extremely important. We want students to know that we value their attendance and that being there every day is an important part of the educational experience. This is step 4 and 5 of the check-in, check-out implementation process of the 4-step process are together, because you will see this is where the caregivers come in, and this is the part that will increase the communication between home and school. For caregivers, we want to encourage the student to have the conversation with the caregiver, and that the caregiver is reinforcing those positive actions from the day and reinforcing the behavior. Sometimes we ask caregivers to sign the cards just to ensure that that conversation happened. Do remember that it's not appropriate to punish students if their caregiver does not cooperate. As we know, caregivers are different for every individual student. Then the next day, when they return your card, celebrate. If the student does not return the card, simply continue on. Here are those key tips to a check and check out success. Remember, the overall purpose of check and check out is to focus on the students' positive behavioral goals and their efforts to attain those goals throughout the day. We always want to complete the DPR fully and to effectively monitor the progress for the student. We regularly provide positive and motivating feedback to a student. This is a key part. Remember, constantly and consistently practicing and practicing and practicing. As adults, it will become more of a common language in your building. Providing positive feedback to a student is key, and determining the check and check out success always relies on using data. Remembering that check and check out is not an intervention for students to be on for a lifetime. We will want to fade students from this intervention as we succeed their success. We do this by stepping the student down from a check and check out process by adjusting that duration and that frequency of their goals, which is why it's so key that we implement check and check out with fidelity and that we help them build those positive relationships between students and adults in the building. Finally, we want to show you a quick video that encapsulates everything we've talked about today. And hopefully you will notice the different roles of the check and check out process.
Hi, Mrs. Tauscher. Here's my check-in, check-out.
Good morning. How was your night last night?
Good.
Good. Did you get some of your homework done?
Yeah.
Have a seat. Looks like you have a parent's signature, so that's good. I'll put that in your file. See, but you said your homework is done?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So let's take a look here. Looks like you need 54 points for today. How many points are you hoping you can get?
54.
And what are you going to do to get those 54 points?
I'm going to be Sam like proud
Mm-hmm.
and be safe, respectful, and responsible.
Perfect. Sounds like you have a big goal for today. In addition to being Sound Like Proud, I would really like you to focus on getting that homework done in your study hall today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd also like you to do what the teachers are asking you to do.
Okay.
All right, so, and also a goal I have for you today is to tell 2 friends something nice.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
See you after school.
Yeah. Can you give me any scores for being safe, respectful, and responsible?
Let me have a look here today. Did you finish your composition for recorder?
I did most of it, but
Most
I
of
didn't
it.
finish most.
But we had plenty of time, so I think I'm gonna have to give you a 1 for being responsible. How about being respectful when I asked you to put the pencils and everything away? Were you able to do that?
Yes.
Oh, great, great. Then you get a 2. Thank you. Good job, Kendall. Keep up the good work on being respectful. Let's make sure we get our work done.
Class, it's time to go to specials. Please put your things underneath your pencil boxes and show me that you're ready to go.
Can you please check off my
Well, hi, Kendall.
for being safe, respectful, and
Sure.
responsible?
So we were working here and trying to figure out if you were safe, respectful, and responsible. How about safe today? Were you safe?
Yes.
You were safe, so you'd get a 2 for being safe. Great job. How about being respectful?
Yes.
What were you doing that was being respectful today?
I was keeping my hands, feet, and body to myself.
Well, that's very respectful, so we would circle a 2 for you. How about being responsible today?
I remembered to do my homework.
Remember to do it. Did you remember to bring it back?
Yes.
You did remember to bring it back? That's awesome. So you were being responsible there. That would be a 2. So 6 points there. You got all the points. Great job, Kendall. Proud of you.
Hi, Mrs. Tauscher. I reached my goal.
Wow, nice work. Looks like you had a great day. Thanks for being on time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, reading, got all your points. Writing, I noticed a 1 on responsibility. What happened?
I think I just lost a little bit of my concentration.
Okay, so in order to change that for tomorrow, you'll be able to focus. Okay, good. Math looks great. Lunch, recess, study hall. Did you get some of your homework done today? Awesome. All right, specials looks good. Daily score was a 53 out of 54, so you Got your goal just about, just missed one. We'll work on that for tomorrow. Make sure you get a parent signature tonight and bring it back in the morning.
Thank you.
All right, see ya. Have a good night.
You too. Hi, Mrs. Thatcher. Here's my check-in check.
Thank you for joining me today as we talked about the check-in, check-out process. Again, I work for Nebraska MTSS, and here is our Regional 4 contacts. If you need any additional information, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.